But I remember everything that led up to this football game. It's unbelievable. People won't even believe it. See, Robbinsville and Robersonville sounds just about alike. And I called North Duplin High School coach Richard Khalil, who was a friend of mine, to get a game film of Robbinsville. Well, the darn film didn't come to Robersonville, it went to Robbinsville. And their coach did not send it to us. We went in the game just about blind. And I was getting phone calls from coaches who had played up there before. Were telling me about how slick the field was and we need to wear long cleats and all that kind of stuff. And Robbinsville hadn't been beaten up there.
Defense, offense, but most of the really good players played both ways. A lot of us played. I played linebacker on defense, and then I played pulling guard on offense. So you going, and then you were on the kickoff team, you were on the receiving team, so you didn't have a really.
That's pretty small for a high school football team, but you guys didn't really have a choice, right?
Yeah, but we were conditioned. If nothing else, we were conditioned.
And that's a signature of a Nolan team.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot. I think that's had a lot to do with us winning. So I think when the big guys gave out or the other guys gave out, it's like you're trying to run that little mouse around here. A big guy trying to run the little mouse around, you will give out after a while. And they just would give out. Towards the end of the game. So I think the second half was most of the time when we did most of our stuff over those years.
Best football player on the team. Most likable fella. He could sing too. He liked Jerry Butler, but
still can.
Yeah, he would get it done and never complain and never
grew up being
come out of a game.
We played in the woods. We did like Tom Sawyer. We made our own fishing poles and went fishing in the creeks and stuff. We made our own poles. We get twine, tobacco twine, what we call it. We get some wire, bend it, and make a hook and everything, get it attached to that string. We actually use corn cobs for a cork. Just ream out the inside of it and stick a stick in there. But that's the kind of upbringing we had. So I didn't need to be involved in sports. I had a natural kind of outdoorsness to me. You know what I'm saying?
So the first year you played the sport was 9th grade?
10th grade.
10th grade.
10th grade. I remember I was a stubborn old critter. I remember I just didn't like going down. It wasn't my thing to go down. You know what I'm saying? So by all means necessary. And I think I was notorious for dragging 2 and 3 guys on my own, trying to get another half a yard, that kind of stuff, just refusing.
What I remember most about that game is that the highway patrolman, you didn't have radio and stuff that did the games back here, so nobody in Robersonville knew what was going on if you didn't go up to the game. Yeah. And the highway patrol, we had a highway patrolman here named B.W. Parker, and he got up here in town. And the highway patrol that was in Robbinsville that was at the football game was calling back to Robbinsville to tell them what the score was at the game. And I remember hearing all about that during the game. Okay. Yeah, they were transferring the score back.
Sort of the Vince Lombardi of high school football, I think. He was he was disciplined. If you got out of line, you paid for it. You'd either run laps or you do wind sprints, and we had at the end of football practice we always had we do belly flops, and Vince Lombardi was famous for that. I think at the end of practice, he'd blow a whistle and you'd hit your belly on the ground and bounce back up. Well, sometimes if we had a bad practice, we may do that for 15 minutes. So people were dragging at the end of practice, and then we'd run laps after that, or do suicides after that. So.
Yikes. So
we were in good shape.
Sounds like Herb Brooks.
Yeah, yes.
We had a core of guys in Little League that lived in the same neighborhood, same as Glenn. There was Sammy, there was Matt, there was me. And every day after school, there's a park right across from my house, and right in Glenn's back door, we played ball every single day when it got warm weather. In Little League, on our all-star teams, we went further than any team from Robersonville had ever gone. So we knew the people we played in Tarboro that year, and they told us that these guys were going to win a state championship. We believed them. So then we went to Pony League, and some of the guys made Pony League All-Stars, and they won the state championship. I don't know what the expectations of the town were and everything, but we had already played with Edward and Sammy and Phil all of our life growing up. We were thinking, well, we're just going to reload.
The first game of the state championship, Phil James, that was a tough game. I think we were ahead up to about the 5th inning, I think, and they came back and tied it. Roland did, and I think Phil hit a double and drove in the winning runs. I think we wound up beating them 5-4, 6-4. But Phil came through with a clutch hit that night, as well as the 70 season. So
It seems like Phil did that.
Phil could hit. Phil could hit. He was. He had a brother named Timmy. Timmy was a good hitter, and I think people forget sometimes just how good of a hitter Phil really was.
I had to brag on Larry a little bit. Larry was just as good a catcher. I mean, I can't believe Larry didn't play college ball somewhere. I mean, Larry
Really?
was a good catcher. He had an arm. I mean, he could call pitches, and that mitt, boy, he got to pop that mitt. I mean, and Larry was all business behind that plate.
All coaches will say winning builds confidence. And it can help that. I don't know how many here remember who said this. You show me a good loser, and I'll show you a loser. That was a great Vince Lombardi. I believe in that wholeheartedly. And I believe in discipline and hard work. And I've always considered myself a hard worker, and I believe that you can be ahead of yourself if you can't do anything else. And that's what I the greatest compliment I have received from former players and people that I was associated with in my coaching career was well deserved. And that made me feel better than anything. It's not all about wins and losses. It's about the lives that you impact while you were coaching in those years. And that really makes me feel.
Please welcome Coach Nolan Respess.